Yeah, it's your boy Soul. Welcome to the Grove. Infinite love and gratitude to all of y'all listening. Listen, so tonight, I want to talk about the difference between karmic relationships, twin flames, and the soul family. So, you're gonna get it cracking. And how to know which one you're in. Tips on how to have more healthy, more balanced relationships. So, I'm a guy, so I'm gonna be talking about this from a male-female perspective. I'm heterosexual, but honestly, this applies to any relationship with the masculine and feminine dynamic, especially if y'all are involved. So, you're gonna get it cracking. First, we talking about a karmic relationship. Now, these relationships are toxic. They're toxic to the core. And what it means to be in a karmic relationship, the main indicator of a karmic relationship is power games between y'all. If y'all going back and forth with these different power games, trying to get a one-up on each other, each other's insecurities and, just where to hit, these relationships are usually trademarked with a bunch of arguments and disappointments and a lack of trust, but it's held together by a little bit of loving. You feel me? You argue a bunch, then once y'all start tossing in bed, like all of that just go up in smoke. And I'm gonna tell you, those are karmic relationships. You just think about it as it's just a certain karma that's keeping y'all in this loop of toxicity. Your bad karma, your bad energy, put it on that person. They'll take it, they'll remember it, and throw it back on you. Then you'll feel some negative energy. But the makeup sex and the little gifts and the little gestures, they don't come from a place of understanding and of love. They come from a place of, alright, I either want to keep this person under my thumb, or I just don't want them to leave because I'm gonna be lonely otherwise. So, those toxic cycles, those toxic relationships, I understand, in karmic relationships, it's hard to actually genuinely be happy for one another because y'all are always contending with each other. So, understand if you're in a karmic relationship. I'm not really too keen on how to break out of those because it's sort of a spiritual thing. You two are attached to each other's shadow aspects. I guess we could talk about shadows in another video, but the parts of yourself that you are rejecting, you see in that person, and they see those things in you. And so, because there's such an internal conflict with yourself and the person that you're attracted to, those things manifest in the relationship as a contention, as walls being built up and a push-pull. And these can go on for years. But it's hard to break out of because you don't want to feel lonely. So, in a karmic relationship, the best way to start remedying those is to just notice your shadow aspects. Notice the things that you are rejecting in yourself. Go in, and once you heal those things, you heal the aspect of yourself that's attracted to this person. And once those things are healed, you won't be attracted to them anymore, but you can have some love for them. Listen, I've had a couple relationships in my own past, and some of them good, some of them, I won't even say they're bad, it's it just didn't work out in the way that they were supposed to because of mutual contention. But the ones that were good, there was an easy flow, and when it ended, there was no type of hate or malice towards each other. It was just kind of, it just stopped. Sometimes relationships, they don't really, I don't really even want to say that it ended, it just kind of fizzled out. Relationships never really end. There's always this invisible thread that's pulling you towards the people that are supposed to be in your life. Maybe they're just there for that season, but maybe they're there for life. So notice those. Next, twin flames, right? Now, twin flames are very different from karmic relationships. I think the main thing that you can get from a twin flame relationship as opposed to a karmic relationship is that there's a sense of elevation. When you think about being around this person, you think about ways that you might be better for them and vice versa. It takes two to tango. A one-sided relationship, unreciprocated love is a certain hell in and of itself. But in a twin flame relationship, instead of being attracted to each other's shadow aspects, you're attracted to your light aspects. This person is seemingly a reflection of what you believe you are. See, in relationships, whether it's platonic or just involved, you are attracted to what you are. You attract what you are. So, if you're looking at your partner, you're looking at this person, you're like, yo, they're this, and that, you have to understand that the only reason that you are seeing those traits is because you recognize those traits in yourself. So, if you think your partner is kind, trusting, caring, and loving, you realize that the way that they do those things, the way that they're kind, loving, and all of that is a reflection of the way that you are in and of yourself. A lot of the times we try to think of love and attraction as trying to find somebody that is a perfect fit for you, which I think is pretty asinine in and of itself as a concept, because nobody is perfect in and of themselves. So how could somebody be a perfect fit for you? I think a better way of looking at it is to try to find someone who's toxic you can match, you can deal with. Now, you're going to be like, so what are you talking about? What you mean by that, bro? I'm going to explain real quick. So let's say your person their toxic trait is that they just don't open up. They don't talk like that. They're kind of passive aggressive, right? And maybe your toxic trait is that you're overexpressive. It's a thing where you just can't hold your tongue for something. You gotta say it. And sometimes it might be good, it might be bad, but you gotta say what you gotta say. Now, I feel like in a relationship like that, it can work out, because someone who is closed off and doesn't want to talk about things, it doesn't mean that they don't really want to talk about it. It just means that they have some sort of trauma in their past that makes them closed off. And vice versa, you've probably had some trauma in your past that makes you feel like, I gotta say what I gotta say no matter what. Now, if you're the expressive one, they'll be more keen to open up. And sometimes their closing down is better for you, because sometimes there are just some things that you just don't need to be talked about right now. You don't have to talk about everything. You get what I mean? So those things work out in and of themselves. So a twin flame relationship, these are more free flowing, more intimate and have a deeper possibility for connection, just because you are attracted to each other on a spiritual level. So you want to attract people that are attracted to your spirit, not what you look like, not how much money you make, because you can be pretty today and in 5 years you're gonna look ugly. You too chill. You can be rich today and tomorrow you're gonna be broke. See, material things, material possessions, they are fleeting things. They don't stay, and they can't stay, because they're of the world. A lot of the things that we take for granted, our spirit, our mind, even just being able to speak and communicate, these things were given to us for free. So they can't be taken away by any man. So you want to look for those things that match your spirit, but you want to make sure that your spirit is up to par with the type of spirit you want to attract into your life. If you're attracting toxic people, you better believe you toxic, boy. Now, a soul family, it's sort of like a twin flame relationship, but it's wider. It involves a whole lot of people. Think about twin flame relationships between two people, but a soul family is a group of people. It could be, you could have a soul family. Sorry. You can have a soul family of hundreds and thousands of people that you've never even met. And the way I like to think about this is what Carl Jung talks about is archetypes. There are archetypes in the world of people, basically. You think of it as, if y'all play video games, if y'all ever play an MMORPG, they have rogues, they have the warriors, they have the magicians, they have the archers, things like that the player builds. You're feeling me? Everyone has a different player build. You might be an archer, might be a mage, things of that nature, but if you can find your family of mages, you've found your soul family. And this is sort of like just an intuitive thing. You feel it when you see it. So, the main takeaway from this video, I will say, is that you attract what you are. You don't attract what you want. So, begin with the end in mind. I forgot who said it, but it was some famous quote. Begin with the end in mind. And I think that goes really deep. Think about the type of person you want to attract into your life. And think about what type of person they would be with. You know, I saw some crazy shit. Kim K was looking at Kodak Black as her new boyfriend. No. I don't know. They're not part of the same. They're not in the same archetype. You know, people say, that's just my type. They're not in the same, I don't want to say league. I don't believe in leagues. That's trash. It's a trash concept. They're just out of your league. Like, they're just all of a sudden a better person because they're prettier. If there's anything of a league, it would be leagues of your development as a spiritual being, how high your spirit vibrates. So that brings me to the point of you have to watch out with who you are interacting your energy with, because at the end of the day, just like I said, there are There are lower and there are higher vibrations of people. And so this goes especially for karmic relationships. If you might be the more highly vibrating person, if you might be the more highly vibrating person in the relationship, water finds its own level. You might have to come down to meet their level, or they might have to come up to meet yours. But best believe that gravity isn't everything. Even in energetic relationships. What I mean by that is that it's easier for you to come down to their level than for them to rise up to yours. So it don't mean that you have to harbor any hate for them. It just means you have to protect yourself. See, a lot of this is not protecting you from other people and creating a shell. Because once you create a shell, you just circulate in your own self-protective, selfish energy. It's a low vibratory state. Rather, you need to come from it from a perspective of protecting you from yourself. Meaning the things that you know are traumatic experiences in your past that this person continues to manifest in their actions. Let's say you might have issues with abandonment, and this person is very easy to abandon you. And every time you interact with this person, every time you're involved with this person, you just feel a sense of worthlessness that comes from your own issues of abandonment. See, nobody can make you feel anything. A lot of people want to come here and say, oh, you made me feel this way, so now, fuck you, YouTube chill. But you feel it in and of yourself. Your feelings are an internal experience. Two of us can look at the same thing and feel two different things. We could look at an apple tree and I feel like it's beautiful. And so different hormones in my body, dopamine, whatever, is going to start surging. All the chemicals are going to be going in. And I'm going to experience that as an experience of euphoria, of beauty, looking at this apple tree. You might see it and see disgust. And in turn, you'll be feeling the hormones of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Now see, we looked at the same thing, but we have two different hormones running through our body, making us feel two different things. Which means that the outside world doesn't affect how you feel. You affect how you feel through your perspective. Perspective is everything. Right, so I hope that gave y'all some insight into your relationships and how to either break or grow your relationship. I think at the end of the day, the golden rule for any relationship is to give more than you take. Because the universe, it has a way of giving back to you what you give out. It might not be directly from the person you gave it to, but there's no free lunch. So you might get a gift back in the way of inspiration, or just in the way of a butterfly effect of whatever kindness you showed to them. In some way it came back to you. All of us, we live in an emotional ecosystem. Which means the way that I make you feel, if I'm your boss, and I'll make you feel like dog shit, You might just go home and start yelling at your kids. You might start arguing with your wife, and half the time it's not even about the argument itself. Y'all arguing about the toaster, but really you just feel less than a man because you got yelled at by your boss. And so you're not just using that to lash out on her. And whatever she went through in that day, she's using that toaster as an excuse to lash out on you. So, to recap, two main things to understand in relationships, whether it's a karmic relationship or a twin flame relationship or in your soul family, is to give more than you take. And you attract what you are, not what you want. Become what you want to be, and you will attract in turn. Alright, infinite love and gratitude to y'all boys. It's been your boy Soul. I'm out to the next one. Peace.